Right, 3 February 2024, and today I've got a special guest, the president or general in the ZIFA. Please explain how I say this. Is it ZIFA or ZEFA?
It's ZEFA, Zimbabwe Economic Freedom Fighters Alliance, ZEFA.
Okay, so we're going to have a very short discussion, and I want to help people to understand who you are based on the ultimatum that your organization sent out last month. You sent out an ultimatum of 3 months to the Zimbabwe government, President Munangagwa, and opposition leader Nelson Chamisa to have dialogue within 3 months. What happens if there's no dialogue within 3 months?
Gambakwe, first of all, let me just introduce what is ZEFA, then I'll come to your question. ZEFA, we are a radical movement with democratic principles. So the situation in Zimbabwe at the moment, it needs a steady hands and it needs every hands on deck. So without Emmerson Mnangagwa and Nelson Chamisa as the people who contested in the elections coming together and solve the economic crisis that we have, the illegitimate crisis that we have, there is no way there is no way we can move forward. So if they don't come to the table, kana huku kaisa pakona inotorwa, it will fight back, even though it does not have a plan, even though it will end up in the frying pan, it will fight. So I don't want to say much, but this situation that we have, there is no other way. And it's not an ultimatum. It's a solution. A solution that needs every hands on deck. Mnangagwa with his pride, Nelson Chamisa with his pride, sitting on the same room, discussing the future of Zimbabwe. Because if we look at all things that are happening now, the confusion, the chaos, who is suffering? The ordinary Zimbabwe. Even the army, the ZDF, because they are getting peanuts. Even akaregedza kwenda kubasa kwacho, akaretire kubasa kwacho, he does not have anything to show that aisenzera Zimbabwe. He's served in the military of Zimbabwe. So what are we doing? If these people, they don't sit down, us as ZEFA, Zimbabwe Economic Freedom Fighters Alliance, there is a plan. And I'm not obliged to say much, but we will find another way to solve the issue if they don't want to solve it. Kana baba vakasatenga hupfuka isu sevana tichaita plan yekuti pamba pajiro.
Okay, but are you guys a military outfit?
Gambakwe atingambotangi taverenga mazaika tisatane huku kana kuzodza vanhu ndane huku 50 eyo achiri mazai ezvinoizvo ngatiti mazai tikatanga tatudza huku ka zvinogona kunetsa ngatiti mazai takamirira kuti dzibereke 3 months mazai anenge atasi anenge atsotsonya ndo patichaverenga huku dzedu.
Okay, so in terms of Zimbabweans, what do you want the people in Zimbabwe to do?
The Zimbabwean people, the only thing they can do, since we know we are dealing with a 50-year-old machine that have experience in abducting people and in corruption, the Zimbabwean people have to be safe. Zimbabwean people, they have to understand ground. They have to stay focused and understand exactly the situation that pamwe pacho a collateral damage is accepted for freedom to be achieved.
Okay, so I want to play for you a clip. Yes, I want to play for you a clip, and then I want to ask you my next question after this clip.
Because of that, they resolved, and they've given me as the leader of the citizens the mandate to make sure that I use every platform, locally, nationally, and internationally, to share this view by the citizens. And they have indicated that they do agree that there was some kind of an elected leadership, but it's an elected leadership out of a contested and disputed election. Therefore, whatever we have is a caretaker authority. We are not coming with an answer that is prescriptive. We can't prescribe an answer. We have said we are prescribing the mechanism, and the mechanism is a political settlement. Let Zimbabweans find each other. This business of repeating, disputes around elections, you don't resolve it, you go to another election. You can say, let's wait for 2028, but guess what? We'll have another disputed election 2020. But between now and 2028, it's going to be fighting. No focus on the economy, focus on slogans. No focus on economics and feeding people. We are focusing on politics. That's dumb. Let's find each other, find permanent solutions. Right now, they're talking about by-elections. Look at the past 5 years. We had almost, 29 by-elections. We spent, over $30 million. Can you imagine if we had taken that 30 million to give it to our civil servants and to deploy it to our hospitals and to buy ambulances? Just a political decision that is... Why should...
So that is Nelson Chamisa. He's calling for dialogue. I don't know if you've seen that clip before.
I've watched the live of that clip. I watched him live, actually. I follow everything that happens in Zimbabwe because I love my country. May God bless Zimbabwe. But you cannot, first of all, the thing is, if Munangagwa is willing to sit down, but he is protecting himself, the ego in him of saying, Ndini president of Zimbabwe, the ego of saying, Ndindaka winner my elections. Inoita kuti asabvume kugara pasi achinzwawo kuti chii chiri kunetsa zvii zviri kuda kugadziriswa. In Zimbabwe, we are facing an illegitimate crisis, economic crisis. Those issues, they cannot be solved nekuti ndini president. Dzinoda munhu wese. All hands on deck. Nyango wamunoti chabangu anotodiwawo patebhuri ipapo. Because remember, akuna munhu akazombokomba churu ari one. Hanzi rume rimwe arikombi churu. Dzinotoda chaunga chese panotoda muri yese kuti muchikombe churu. Churu chatinacho is illegitimate crisis, constitutional crisis, corruption. There is so many things. Even him, Munangagwa, he knows this crisis, but hadzikwanise kana ari one. Dzinotoda kuti udaidze kuti Chamisa chigarapo ungatoita sei oterero kana musingakwanise kutererana sapresident na citizen chigarai pasi mese muri citizens pasina president pasina titles mogara pasi motererana sevarume matererana sevarume tochikwanisa kutsvaga problem toigadzirisa sei. If you can't sit down, both of you saying ini ndindakawina umwe but ndiwo wakabvuta vanokuvara ndiani hanzi panorwadze mudanga chinokuvara uswa kana danga racho rinogona kutopwanyika. So we are avoiding kuti dzemudanga dzirwe, because at the end of the day we will unleash dzemudanga dzachoti alright chaapo ndechekuti ngatichirwai kana tarovana tozochiona kuti akakundwa ndiye anenge akundwa ndiye achati ngatigarei pasi totanga tarovana, because that's the only way to achieve the freedom. ZANU-PF, I respect ZANU-PF in one thing. They are the custodian of our freedom. They are the custodian of our struggle. But as the custodians of the struggle, why do you impose ultimatums to the opposition, to the other citizens? You were fighting for us, and you don't want to listen to us. So what did you fight for? You were not fighting for us. You were fighting for yourselves. If you can't sit down with us and talk to us and understand the problems that we are facing in our country, because remember, we are saying our country, not your country or my country. We are saying our country. That means it belongs to everyone. So we need to sit down and find a solution. You don't have to like me to sit with me. You don't have to like me to sit with me. But you have to sit with me to fix the country so that we can move forward. But if you don't want to sit down, as I said before, kana baba vakasatenga upfu, isusu vakomana tichaona yakutamba kuti baba pajigwe, but mimi baba amuriji.
Okay, but Chamisa has already called for dialogue. It's Munangagwa who is refusing.
Munangagwa ndozvatataura paipe kuti kana Munangagwa asingade, I will not blame Chamisa, or we will not blame Chamisa. We will know who did not want to sit with who. Then kana isusu vakomana tazotenga upfu yekuti baba padyiwe ka baba hamuridyi ndo pachazonetsa ipapo because this tichaika ratinokwana.
Right. Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
The only thing that I want to say is we are not imposing any ultimatums. We are not forcing any hand. But what we are saying is let's come together as Zimbabweans without positions, without an answer, and let's lay out the problems that we have and find solutions to the problems that we have. If we can't solve these problems on our own, let's find an intermediator who can come and help us understand how we can solve the problems. But if we can't sit down, we are going to force and do what is necessary for the ordinary Zimbabweans to thrive, because we can't have a country with 5 million people that does not live in their own country. We can't have a country like that. So the only way that is left, if we can't sit down, is let's fight. Then after fight, anenga azorowa ndiye achaita kuti tigare pasi tozotaura. Achauya achiti aiwa enda zvibagara zvanyanyira ngati mbogare pasi titaure. Ndo zvasara. That's why we are saying let's unite as Zimbabweans without politics, without political parties, and find a solution to our problems. As Zimbabwean problems to Zimbabweans, African problems to Africans. Sit down, find a solution, and the politics we are not even in a position of holding any elections, because panongoti kwama elections panofa munhu panofa vanhu kuti ange techikwambo kuZimbabwe chinodya vanhu pama elections chete. Zimbabwe ine chikwambo, Zimbabwe yakaromba, panongoti kwama elections koviwa. The only way changosara kuti ngavachitiuraya tese kana vane vatadza kugara pasi vese, ngavachitiuraya tese toziva kuti yasara nyika yevanhu 2 Nelson Chamisa nani na Munangagwa ndo varidzi vanokwanisa kungogara munyika imomo, umwe achigarawo kuMatebeleland, umwe achigara kunhingirikini kuHarare.
Okay, are you not afraid of Munangagwa?
I'm not afraid because takafa kudhara gambakwe. If you are not living in your country and you don't have a bank account in your country, are you considering yourself living? You are already dead. You are already dead. You are doing hand to mouth. That means you are dead. In other countries, people have bank accounts, they have savings in the banks. Do you have a functioning economics, money transfers in Zimbabwe, or only EcoCash that does not even stay? You can't keep EcoCash in your account for 2 days, because after 2 days it's nothing. So are you still considering yourself living? We are dead. We are dead people walking. So I'm not scared of anyone. If I have to die today, I will die speaking the truth. I will speak for the people, and I am for the people, and Zephyr is for the people. And Zephyr is here to advocate for the people. The struggle, the struggle that we fought Zimbabwe against Ian Smith was for the people. I'm here to remind people about the struggle of freedom. If you do not understand what is struggle on freedom, you don't deserve to call yourself Zimbabwean. Even Munangagwa, if you don't understand being the custodian of the struggle, he is the custodian of the struggle since he is the head of ZANU-PF. So why he does not understand that Tongogara fought for the freedom of Zimbabwean people, for our mothers to love and our fathers to go to work and enjoy their benefits after they resign from their work, after they grow old, they need to take care of themselves. That's what was Tongogara fighting for. That was the idea of going and fighting Ian Smith. So if they are the custodians of that freedom, why are they not giving it to the ordinary Zimbabweans? So that means they fought for themselves. I'm not scared to say the truth. If they will kill me today, you will be my witness, and you will replay this clip again and say, I am for the people. I will always tell Munangagwa the truth. If he can come and sit with me, I will still tell him that, Munangagwa, you have eroded the whole idea of freedom, the idea of the struggle, as you are the custodian of the struggle. Why you are not ashamed of yourself? You fought for people to speak freely. Are they speaking freely? You fought for the people to walk around freely. Are they walking freely? You fought for the security of the black people. Are they secured? No. Anyone can be abducted in broad daylight. Anyone can just disappear in broad daylight. As the custodian of that freedom, are we free? No. Let's sit down and discuss these issues, because the international board, whatever, whoever is watching us, he's making us fools that black people cannot govern themselves. We can't govern ourselves.
Okay.
No, we can.
What do you intend to get out of this? Because I don't see you have not made any demands.
The demands is Emerson Munangagwa and Nelson Chamisa, or whoever contested in the previous elections, they need to sit down and solve the illegitimate crisis, which has put us in this economic decline. If they don't sit down, that means we have to take over and do what is necessary. They have to sit down. We have given them 3 months to sit down, and 3 months is counting. The time is now to sit down. These are not empty promises or empty threats. This is not a threat. It's not an ultimatum. It's a call to peace. It's a call to unity. If they don't want unity, that means they want war. If I call you to sit down, amkoma ngataurani tigari pasi tione kuti tingaigadzirisa sei mhuri yedu. Wotadza kuda kutaura neni, uramba uchita zvauri kuita, that you are actually saying handabasi nezvauri kutaura togona kungorwa futi kana uchidondirova unogona kungondirova. So if they don't sit down, they are just sending a message kuti they are ready for anything. And I don't think an uprising ZANU-PF is prepared for an uprising from the citizens. So we are going to cause Zimbabwe an uprising, and Zimbabwe will be ungovernable.
Okay.
Let them kill all 7 million people in Zimbabwe, because we are tired. We are already dead. We are not scared of dying.
All right, I've put your numbers on the screen, your contacts, your email. That is what you put on the public letter that you send to Zimbabweans. Will you be contacting Zimbabweans regularly? How will Zimbabweans know what you're planning?
They can find us on that email. They can find us on that phone number. And Zephyr is everywhere. You can find us on any social media platforms. You can find someone to contact there. If you cannot find these details, we are everywhere. Zephyr is everywhere. Some people you don't even know they are Zephyr, but we are everywhere. Munangagwa, we are watching. Nelson Chamisa, we are watching. We are everywhere. And Zephyr is us. We are Zimbabwe, and we are Zephyr. We are everywhere. You can kill.
But I see a gun on your logo.
That's why I'm saying we are a radical movement that believes in democratic processes. But if democratic processes does not work, we have an option to become radical, because that's what we are.
Okay. And all right. I think what I will do is let me bring you back again after a month. So it's been almost 2 weeks since the last communication went out. So let's see again at the end of February if Munangagwa would have responded. How would Munangagwa respond to you?
If he can send me an email on that number, that's an email. Tell whoever wants to contact me, Munangagwa, Nelson Chamisa, whoever wants to contact me can contact me on that email address. I will respond. And Zephyr, we are everywhere. You might not even know that maybe in his office in Munangagwa, there's one of our operatives in his office. So we are everywhere. So if he wants to contact me direct, he can find me there.
Okay, I've got another number here. Let me just add another number.
Yes.
Which you have given. You know Munangagwa can trace these numbers, right?
Let him trace. We are not scared of Munangagwa. Munangagwa, he's just a head. Akuna baba anouraya vana vavo kuona mwana baba anouraya vana vavo ibenzi. Tiri kuti ngatigare pasi titaure kana uda kuuraya vana nekuti vana vatapa nenzara ibenzi baba ivavo.
Okay, so here is your other number. Here's your other number.
Yes. Tell him to track the numbers if he can.
Okay, so it's the 2 contact numbers, the one at the top with the email and the one at the bottom. Because yes. I don't want to get to a situation where Munangagwa doesn't know how to get hold of you guys when things happen. And then the moment a chance.
Tell him to contact us and hakuna ukaona baba vanouraya vana vavo nekuti vana vati vane nzara kababa ivavo ibenzi he deserve something else. So the only thing that I can tell him is isusu vana tiri kuti Munangagwa, you are as the custodian of the struggle of our freedom. Why don't you call Nelson Chamisa, sit down with him, understand the guy, listen to him? He has a solution. Why don't you bring him to the table? We are not saying make him the president, but we say find a solution for the benefit of the ordinary Zimbabweans. We have suffered enough. But if you don't sit down, that's where you want to see kuti huku ukaisa pakona inogona kungokurwisa futi.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. And I haven't said your name, and I don't know if you've got a nomed guru or nomed. I don't know what they call those names that you use. Mnonzi general.
Chingoziva kuti ndi general Zephyr general zvomazita ka vachanotsvaga vanozondwani vanondiziva vachaudza rangu. But ndini general weZephyr. And
thank you very much, General, and I really appreciate you coming here, and I hope to hear from you again at the end of the month. You can get in touch with me, and then we can take it from there. Is there anything else, or we can close here?
Nah, there is nothing else. I thank you, and I just want to say, may God bless Zimbabwe, our beloved country, and I hope things will get better soon. We have suffered enough. I wish everyone was happy in our country, not living outside, and have a better life in our own motherland. That's all.
Thank you very much, General, and a good night to everyone who's watching.